Hey, Jamie Maloney here on day 6 of my 28-day water fast. Thank you so much for taking some time to watch this video and the video series. All the links to the entire videos are in the comments below. On today's video, I want to talk about, again, the electrolytes that your body needs to sustain itself during a fast and just overall in general a life and well-being. The primary 4 electrolytes that the body needs to get are sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. Now there's a range of others that the body needs also, but those are the 4 primary electrolytes that the body needs to get. And so you can help your fast by supplementing yourself with those electrolytes. If you don't add any type of supplementation to your fast, the fast could be or will be more difficult to get through. I won't say it's more miserable, but it will be more difficult for you to get through. And if you're going to do anything extended, and when I say extended, I'm talking a greater than probably 5 days, you definitely need to do some type of supplementation. I would be very nervous going more than 5, 6, 7 days without taking any type of an electrolyte. And so the best ways to get the electrolytes are first pink Himalayan salt. That's going to give you your sodium, some potassium, and a range of other minerals as well. If you're not familiar with pink Himalayan salt, this is a substitute for basic table salt. It's lower in sodium. It has about 80 different minerals in it, and it's overall just a very healthy substitute for salt. So I highly recommend you replacing your salt with pink Himalayan salt, even in normal everyday life in what you would normally eat. So what I do with each glass of water, I put a 3 or 4 shakes of the bottle inside of the water, and that gets me my sodium and some potassium and some other minerals as well. As far as the type of water that I drink, most people, and just reading forums and doctors and just different people who do fast, seem to think or seem to say that distilled water is the best water to drink when you're on a fast. I don't go out and buy distilled water. I'm not saying not to. I don't make a conscious effort to do that. I have a reverse osmosis system in my house. I drink that and some bottled water. But if you want to know what's the preferred type of water to drink on a fast, they say distilled water. The reason is that it binds to toxins better than other types of waters. It's more pH balanced than other types of waters. And so those are the arguments for that. Again, I don't go out and buy distilled water. It's not something that I am concerned about just in my research. I don't think there's enough evidence out there to really make me go after the distilled water for those reasons alone. The next supplement that you want to get, magnesium. Of course, you're going to get that in a multivitamin, but you can also get that through bath salts and using Epsom bath salts. Put those in a warm bath, and those will absorb through the skin. And so that's a good way to get to magnesium, because those bath salts are highly concentrated in magnesium, as well as some other minerals for the body as well. So I highly recommend supplementing your body with the use of bath salts through absorbing in a warm bathtub. The multivitamin I take typically about twice a day. I kind of treat those like my meal. Basically, I take one in the morning and one midday. And those are going to supplement me with all the other vitamins, all the B vitamins, all the other minerals and vitamins that my body is lacking when I'm in a fast. Also, one thing that you're not going to find, though, in a multivitamin or the typical multivitamin is potassium. And that's a necessary electrolyte for the body. And so you can take a potassium supplement, but potassium is one of those tricky minerals to get into the body, at least through supplementation. It's highly recommended to get your potassium through food. And so when you buy a bottle of potassium, whatever the compound is, you'll notice that the recommended amount, or the percentage of the daily recommended amount, is only like 3 or 4% of what is recommended that you get for the day in the bottle. Most multivitamins will say it's like 100, 200, 300% of your recommended daily intake per mineral, per vitamin, but that's not the case with potassium. And so you can't load up on potassium through a potassium supplement alone. And so getting potassium can be a bit tricky, but you can get those through the potassium supplement, and also through the pink Himalayan salt, and also mineral water has a potassium in it as well. Again, when you're getting waters, make sure you're not buying the waters that have some calories in them and not in them and stuff. I mean, because the point of a true fast is to abstain from all calories. The only exceptions that most of the community is okay with is coffee and tea, given that they're black. They are about 2 calories per 8-ounce glass. And so if you need those, you can supplement your fast with some coffee and tea. In my earlier fasts, I relied more on coffee because caffeine is a natural hunger suppressant. And so it can help you get through those first few fasts. But in this fast, I've had some on day 6, I've had to think maybe 2 or 3 cups of coffee throughout the entire thing. I've not had any tea. My body is highly sensitive to caffeine, and I had some of the other night, I started to feel a little anxiety, and so I didn't want to introduce a lot of caffeine into the body. But it is a natural appetite suppressant, the caffeine in coffee, also caffeine in anything. And you probably noticed if you eat chocolates a lot of times before eating a meal, you're not as hungry. That's the caffeine inside of the chocolate that is killing the appetite. And so those will help you with the early fasts, but a true fast is strictly 100% water. I want to run through my stats real quick and talk about how you can track your fat loss in addition to just the scale here real quick. But today I came in at 224.2 pounds. My body fat percentage was 29.8%. Glucose at 75. Waist 44.5 inches. Blood pressure 134/92, and resting pulse at 96. So since the start of the fast on February 1st, I'm down 13 pounds total, and you can track your fat by taking your weight times your body fat percentage. And so at the beginning of the fast, I was 237.2 pounds and 30.2% body fat. Now, also, that took a couple of days to stabilize, and so I was a little hesitant to use that number versus the second or the third day number, because the fluid weight, I think, interferes with the numbers on that. After a couple of days, it begins to stabilize. But anyways, I used that number, and all you have to do is take the weight times that percentage, and that gives you how much of your body is fat. And today, I was 224.2 pounds at 29.8% fat. So 224.2 times 29.8 equals whatever it is. The difference, or the total fat that I have lost, is now 4.8 pounds. So you're saying, well, you've lost 13 pounds total, but only 4.8 pounds of fat. And that comes back to what I was talking about in the first videos, is that a lot of the weight that you lose initially is going to be fluid weight. The pounds of fat that you lose are typically equal to about a pound per day. And you actually lose fat at about a rate of 0.5 to 0.7 pounds. The other difference that you usually see in the scale of, up to a pound, pound and a half or more is additional fluid that is coming off of the body. And so right now I'm at 4.8 pounds, roughly 5 pounds. I've done 6 days of fasting. So again, it's about a pound per day. And so the net weight loss in a fast, at least for myself and most of the other people in the community when they're talking about fasting, is that they lose the amount of fat equal to the number of days they fast, but they will lose a lot more weight. And so if I went back to normal eating right now, I'd gain approximately 8 pounds back in the next 1 to 2 weeks as my body begins to replace fluid, but I would probably see a net weight loss of about 5 pounds, which is fat. Fat is not as quickly put back onto the body as fluid weight is. That's why fluid, those first few days, a lot of weight drops off, and it looks great on the scale. It can be a little bit depressing on the backside of the fast when you're refeeding, and I'll talk more about refeeding in some coming episodes when your weight starts jumping up again. But don't let that discourage you. Make sure you mentally prepare for that as well, because you're going to get to a real low number if you do an extended fast. You're going to be like, all right, great, and then you're going to start eating again, and it's going to jump up, and you're going to think that you're getting fat, and you're not. You're just putting back on all the fluid weight that your body requires for normal operation, plus just the normal weight or water weight that it holds from the consumption of carbohydrates and excess sodium. So again, thank you for taking time to watch day 6 of this video, and still I got 22 more days to go. So hopefully I'll get through it and be able to finish the video series. All right, thanks a lot.